One of the things is this, is that thanks for coming, thanks for taking your night to come over tonight. And really the purpose of tonight is really twofold. One is for the patients that are already coming in. It gives you a reason to better understand why you're coming in. Or like, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, I go to a chiropractor. Does that mean I have to go forever? This explains all of those. And then if you have any questions, you can ask too. But a lot of times, sometimes when you're in the room, we don't have enough time to address like every little detail. So it's easier to have dinner, hang out a little bit, and then figure it out. And also to figure out what it is that you can do outside of the office to keep your adjustment holding longer so that, you know, it doesn't go out of alignment so easily. Second of all, for people who are not patients, it gives you an idea of what it is that I do differently from other chiropractors. Like what is chiropractic and what sets us apart from each other. Because ultimately, who's been to a chiropractor? Raise your hand. Okay, so almost everybody except, you know, wonderful Elijah here. It has been, Elijah, your hands are bigger than your face.
Oh, I just got him sneakers for school.
Really?
9.5.
Oh, you know, you're going to be humongous. Have you thought
3
about...
inches over the summer.
Really? Have you thought about NBA?
He's a runner.
Oh, you're a runner.
He's a track star.
Speaking of which, yes, runner, you would need to see me one day. You might as well see me now so you don't hurt yourself. But we'll get into that. No, let's get into that now before I forget. Yeah, it is. So a few of you have been to a chiropractor before, a few of you haven't. So basically, chiropractic is all the same, and it's nothing so confusing because a lot of times people are like, "Oh, what is chiropractic?" I have no idea, but I know that. What do most people say? Chiropractic. What do they do? What is it? What do you think it is?
Adjustment.
Adjustment. Oh my God, you're the only person that used good terminology.
Bone cracker.
There you go. So everywhere I go, you know, oh, can you crack my neck? And I'm like, are you an egg? Or like, do you really want your neck to be really cracked? You know, so I'm like, no, I don't do that kind of stuff. So one of the things that I always do is when I meet someone, and I never say I'm a chiropractor because leave it up to them to assume what it is that I do, right? So I go really quick. I'm a chiropractor, I take care of kids and pregnant moms. And then so that kind of stops them and they're like, oh, you do? Because if I just say I'm a chiropractor, then they'll think I crack bones. But if I tell them I take care of children and pregnant moms, then they'll say, kids need it too? And then we can have a longer conversation, you know, about like, oh yes, because it's about your nervous system, not about your back. We'll get into all that details. But basically, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. You can't tell with my accent, I know. But I was born and raised here. And when I was 12, I went to a chiropractor. I had no idea what he did, but I knew that was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So then I went to do my undergrad, and I went to chiropractic school and so forth. But it wasn't until I was in chiropractic school that I was like, oh my, this is the perfect profession for me. This is everything that I ever wanted to do, but I just never knew until I went to chiropractic school. And luckily, one of the things that I do is I practice something called the Gonstead technique. So the Gonstead technique is within chiropractic care, there's over 150 different techniques. So Stephanie, if you've gone to chiropractor and you had a conversation with Scott over here, like, oh, what does your chiropractor do for you? And Scott will say, oh, my chiropractor put some lotion on my body and like rub or something. And then you might tell him that, oh, my chiropractor put some electrodes and then like pull my leg or something. So it's like a completely different experience. And that is why everybody's confused. They have no idea what chiropractic does because everywhere you go, you get a different type of care. But know that the care or the goal is always the same. Chiropractic works with the nervous system. And your nervous system, real simple, controls every part of your body. So it consists of your brain and your spinal cord and the 31 pairs of nerves that innervate every part of your body. So a lot of people say, okay, why would I need a chiropractor if I don't have low back pain? Right, Elijah? Like, because you don't have low back pain, but you need me. But and I'll tell you why soon. But because this is the reason. If the nerves supply every part of your body, no nerves mean no life. So without nerves, how will you know if something's hot or something's cold? It's all nervous system related. How does your heart know how to beat without you telling it to beat every single minute or every single second, right? I never think about it. My heart just beats naturally, right? And then when you're eating like the taco that you just ate protein, starch, and like all sorts of things. But every time when you eat something, the body has to differentiate what type of enzyme it needs to develop to break down what it is that you're eating. And it's a different enzyme for each. But you don't tell it, right? You never ate a steak and say, okay, let's make this now. You know, it just does it naturally. So one of the things that people take for granted is their importance of their nervous system. They don't realize that the nerves control everything, and if there's no nerves, there will be no good health and there will be no life. And that's one of the sad part is whenever you go out in the street, you never hear people say, I wonder how my nervous system is doing today. You know, I wonder if it's all clear and working. No, nobody talks about that. They're always talking about my liver, my heart, my lungs, my extremities. But what is the controlling factor for that, right? So this is why I thought that chiropractic was my perfect profession. If you go outside here, okay, nobody here, everybody in here is like superb health, I know. But if you go outside and you go shopping and stuff, what do you see out there? Do you see, are people energetic or people tired?
Tired.
Tired.
Mhm.
Tired.
Are people overweight or people really skinny and fit?
Overweight.
Overweight, right? Are people depressed or
Yes.
people optimistic?
Depressed.
Very
Depressed,
depressed.
right? And are people eating like healthy,
No.
nourishing food for life, or they're eating
Junk.
French fries and Jack in a Box and buy one get one free Cokes? I don't know, you know, right? So you see all the negativity, and then you wonder why. And the saddest thing is this: is I went to Walmart and I saw this 5-year-old, and she was obese. You should see, she had a belly up to here, and she was waddling as she was walking. And one of the things is, you know, I obviously I was staring at her, but one of the things that it made me feel really sad. And this is why, Stephanie, what you do is really serving the community, because the community needs to eat better, and that's what you're providing. You're providing food that nourish people's health rather than foods that kill people. Because every time when you put something in your mouth, you have to think, is this going to help me live longer, or is this killing me slowly? Every time when we do something, we're making a choice if it's going to help us or going to pull us further away from life. So people don't realize that. They just eat for pleasure, right? So that is one of the reasons why I thought chiropractic was the perfect profession, because chiropractic works with the nervous system, and it works to find the cause of your problem and not chase the symptom. So many people that I see are people who say, oh, I've been to so many other people and they've given me painkillers and they told me to do this and they told me to cut this off, or whatever it is that they tell you, and they're not finding relief. Because tell me this, so Debbie, if you have a headache, what would you take?
I drink water.
You drink water. What would the other people take?
The over-the-counter aspirin.
Exactly, aspirin or Tylenol to control the pain. So, Carl, do you think that controls the pain and cure your problem,
No,
or
it just masks it.
Yeah. So then, what happens after 4 hours?
You still have the same thing.
Exactly. So, do you plan on taking Tylenol for the rest of your life?
I know.
You know, and it doesn't work, because a lot of them, they have to increase their dosage, because eventually your body will get used to it and everything. So chiropractic is really about finding the cause of your problem and not chasing the symptoms. Just like if you turn on the light, if there's no electricity, I don't know what happened. I don't know where this light goes, man. I never know. I do this every time. But basically, if there's no electricity, it doesn't matter if you mess with this, right? Whoever's on the other end is probably going nuts. But what are you doing, right? Because if there's no electricity, you have to find out the problem of where's the electricity. It's not the light switch. So basically, one of the things that I do is I specialize in extremity care. So like, you know, your feet. So people who have feet problem, numbing of the hands, carpal tunnel. Have you heard of carpal tunnel? People who type a lot, frozen shoulder, or whatever it is. One of the things that happens is that, you know, they go and get physical therapy. And then they think like, oh, physical therapy is going to help. But eventually, what's happening is physical therapy is not bad. It's really good, actually. But it's the order of how we take care of ourselves that really matters. So physical therapy helps you live with your problem, with your disability. So whatever you have, let's see what we can do to help you manage and live with that disability. But physical therapy doesn't put things back into where it is. If you have a misaligned neck, which is the nerve that goes to your shoulder, you're not going to physical therapy this shoulder and it won't, like, you know, it won't completely heal. Because basically you're strengthening this, but the nerve to your shoulder is still stuck. So you'll never heal to its potential. So that's why we always say this: come get your spine checked, make sure your nerves are working, and then afterwards go get physical therapy, because now you're helping your body create the strength to hold whatever is correctly in place, rather than you're physical therapying something that is not already in good shape. You know what I'm talking about? So it's the order that people do things, or they think, oh, maybe I can exercise this pain away. Well, you never want to force yourself and get into pain, because one of the things is this. Pain is the very last thing that the body feels. So for example, Elijah, right? His nervous system won't feel sensitivity until he's about 16, 18. That's why kids, they can run into the walls like 10,000 times, but they'll jump back out and then they'll run again, right? But if Carl, you run into the wall, I'd like to see if you jump back out, right? Or maybe, maybe you're Superman, I don't know.
No.
Okay, but basically you'll run into a wall and you'll stay there. But not him. It's because he has not reached the point where his nervous system has matured. So that's why we see kids, because kids don't feel pain. So even if the problem is getting worse and stuff, they'll probably, it's not sensitive enough for them to feel it. That's why most people that come in here, we trace back that they had an injury when they were a teenager, like they were in gymnastics or they fell off the roof or something like that, right? But at that time, it didn't cause problems, but now they're starting to feel the effects. And that's why we take care of kids, and I take care of babies too, because babies, when the baby comes out, who had a natural birth?